What's up, guys? So today it was Sage World when I was recording with this team. I remember over time people have been asking me to try out Yagura in teams, and a lot of people have been asking me the solution on how you should counter Minato teams as well as Shisui teams. Now, from experience using Shisui and fighting against Minatos and Shisuis, I can relate to how annoying they are to fight them. Pretty much any single ninja with a dodge passive has always been something annoying to really fight. And the only way to get past their dodge is making sure they either get standard attacked or hit by an AoE. So that's where kind of the inspiration for this team came from. I decided to go with Roshi because as a tank he's very good. He will be able to ignite anyone who targets him. And that will help out since we also need somebody who can take a lot of hits. Minato attacks a lot and so does Shisui. So against certain teams with Shisui and Anbo Itachi or Minato teams, Roshi will be a great tank. Plus, he will also get rid of barriers. Now, Yagura himself. He's a very interesting ninja. I mostly picked him because of the 10-hit combo chase. But his mystery is pretty awesome as well. He can make a clone of whoever it is. And it inherits 45% of Yagura's attributes. Now, the clone will basically have the chases as well as passives. But the mystery does not work. So it's basically the clone will be pretty much an actual ninja besides the mystery. I put Kurenai in here because since I fully breakthroughed her, I didn't use her. And I have been trying out the double mirror setup. Since I fight a lot of people in Sage World who use it, I figured it would give extra added protection in the team. And then Fire Main is pretty straightforward because I'm using him right now. Plus you have the Genjutsu or the Illusion Mirror Vision, which is an amazing passive, especially when you're playing on the defensive side. I am going with the AoE damage, mostly to help towards the chase as well as the ignition, because we'll have Roshi to ignite as well as the Fire Main. Phoenix Fire chase because we needed to get that 30-hit combo. Using Genjutsu Mirror as well, so double mirror lineup. And using the clone because in the fights I have used, the clone has survived like the entire battle. So you're pretty much getting double standard attacks every single round, and it gives quite a lot of damage. And when it comes to the Karen itself, I have this is the first time using a team with Karen. I was on the combo simulator and the auto combo suggested Karen, so I was like, okay, we're gonna use it. But to take a look at the team, it reaches 34 hits. Seeing the Roshi 30-hit combo go off is pretty frequent, but it's mostly because when Roshi mysteries. To get it off on the first round is kind of difficult, but when you start seeing 10-hit combo from Yagura as well as Fire Main, maybe there was a way to, I don't know, maybe either switch Kurenai out for somebody else. I was thinking of using Utakata instead of Yagura, but Yagura will allow us to get the chases and Utakata can't. But there was I don't know, I wish I could have used King of Hell to get poison and ignite damage going off, but it just wasn't going to happen with this team, so I do have some Siege World fights from you. It might not be an exact counter to Shisui, it might not work out for you guys. But this was something that came to mind. I happened to use it in Sage World, and I kind of enjoyed myself. I felt like I had a couple of good fights. It does result in long battles, so this is not for those blitzers. But, you know, this team will solve many of your Naruto Online issues. But let's go into the fights. Alright, so guys, we go into the battlefield with this team. And, you know, at the start, I had mixed feelings. It could either work out, or it could just completely fail. And after the last time I tried to do a team, which it didn't survive a YouTube video, but I was using Han. I had a lot of doubts trying out random teams in Sage World, especially in mine. But here we go. Alright. Have you ever wanted to use a ninja that you pulled for a spend for, but could never get a chance to use them, or get them, or even obtain them? Well, thanks to Yagura's mystery, you are now able to have that chance to try out at least 75% of what that ninja could be like. Without the mystery, of course. So, you know, the team is kind of funny. It really seems like a troll team. It's kind of disrespectful. It's pretty savage to run this team. After the fights I was doing, it does result in long battles. So for Sage World, you probably don't want to use this team unless you're in a super stacked Sage like me, and you're fighting strong opponents or cancer teams on the regular. But anyway, I ended up taking Mangetsu. It was either go with like the water main or even Chojiro for the damage, maybe Fuguki for a tank. But Mangetsu, you know, he summons a clone himself. Pretty funny passive. The only issue I have with using the Yagura clone for ninjas is if you end up stealing a ninja that can actually go into your chase, it can either help you or mess things up. And it's because of things like that where you're not able to obtain the 30-hit combo chase from Roshi. Not sometimes because of the ninja that you steal. So the team is it's pretty funny. It has ignites going off from Roshi as soon as he's attacking people or even his chase. You also have the fire main, which the clone at the bottom like just survives. It's just such a messed up team. It really is. Putting out the Mangetsu out there with the clone. Yagura, this was probably the first time I really used him to where I enjoyed him. I think I used Yagura in Great Ninja War before, which I do have a video of that is probably like 4 or 5 months old, and yes, I'm still planning to get it out one day, but I don't know where that is. You have Kurenai's Chaos, which is a very good crowd control. I personally like Chaos as much as Immobilization. Maybe a little bit more sometimes. It depends. If you can Chaos their most stacked enemy who's dealing a ton of damage, Chaos becomes very good. But Immobilization keeps them from having any actions. Then we fight our Shisui, our very first one. And, against passive barriers, if you have low initiative and you're always getting outsped, always losing passive barriers, have no fear, Yagura is here. Stealing Shisui, having our own Genjutsu barrier, and it benefits our own team. Now, it's so annoying because you have Shisui's passives, which is just dodge, and then he has his barrier stealing off. So Shisui's a really strong ninja to use Yagura's clone on. I was thinking about doing Kushina because of her double heal, but Kushina's mystery is her main point. And, just to get rid of their enemy barrier, Shisui was the move right there. I mean, it was working out. Now, with Roshi, you're going to end up losing that barrier. But don't worry, next turn you'll be able to steal another ninja, and if you wanted, you could get Shisui back and just get yourself a barrier going. So Kurenai's Mystery is very useful for this team. You have double mirrors, you have the illusion from the fire main. Now, if either of them end up getting crowd controlled, it's pretty much your job to make sure that they're able to do actions. Especially Kurenai. Her chase is the only crowd control you have in the team. Unless you mirror off somebody else's crowd control effect. But you pretty much have that chaos to stop somebody from mysterying or to put somebody out of commission. Pretty much aimed at healers or first positions if you're fast enough for Roshi. So I used Roshi for a very long time. Always liked using him. Very strong ninja. At first, when I was making this team on the Combo Simulator, I accidentally used Ito Tensei Roshi, and he had like such amazing chases and synergy going off with all the stuff that was going on, at least from what the simulator showed me. Then I realized I used the wrong one, so I had to kind of change the team up. But anyway, it allows me to use a lot of things I haven't used before. Like I said in the beginning, I'd never used Kurenai with max breakthroughs since I got her. I never really used Yagura in a main team. And I never actually used Kirin since I got it. So it gives me a chance to try out all these things that are new to me. Just, getting off the Shisui again. Which is really good if your Yagura lasts the whole battle. Because you can just keep reapplying barriers whenever they run out or whatever happens. And then in certain situations, you can either take the Earth Main, give yourself some shields, because you are a wonderful Naruto Online player and you deserve all the buffs and enhancements you can possibly get. This team, it's fun to mess around with. Don't take it competitively, because if you're going to take this to space-time, it may or may not work. Like I said, I haven't really faced too many of the teams that I kind of thought would counter, or at least be countered by this team. And upon a couple of fights towards the end, it makes me realize that it might not exactly work out because it depends on certain things like your position and your initiatives, as well as your placement, your secondary stats. It depends on a lot of things. Natural things that just make up your battle power. But anyway, this is only a team that the true people, the people themselves, will be able to enjoy and use. And by the time you pull for, at least by now you should have a Yagura and a Roshi if you did pull for your super rare. So this is a team that most people can make. And it actually did bring me a lot of enjoyment. I ended up taking the Mei here just to get the passive barrier after Roshi misread. I was tempted to take Mei's barrier from the beginning of the round, but I thought shields were a good idea. Maybe keeping the main would have been a better idea, at least without any barriers to worry about. Could have kept getting more shields going, but it worked out. Going up against double healers gets pretty annoying, but this is for that reason you have all these ignites, and since we're able to steal Mei, we can get ourselves some poisons going off. I wish I could have used the King of Hell summon instead of the Kirin in this team. It just wouldn't work out. If I probably had the Lobster, I could have used that instead of Kirin. Or at least maybe found something else out. But for sure, I think the Lobster, that summon's extinct too. I don't know where you could find it anymore. This team could work out as a win main alternative. I believe it's probably Flower Guard got reworked to where 2 females can get immunities for like 2 rounds or something like that. So if you don't want to run the fire main, it could also work out with the wind main. Maybe a little bit better because you do have 2 mirrors. You have the illusion on the first round, but second round, if Kurenai gets stopped, that's pretty much the weak point of this team. If Kurenai is stopped, you don't have any crowd control, and she's just kind of there to help you out. So losing Kurenai kind of breaks down the entire team, and that's pretty much when I found out the weakness was towards the later fights. So with Wind Main, this team could definitely work. You still have a 10-hit combo chase. You'll be able to give yourself and Kurenai the immunity. You could even like Dance of Impetus, so you can mystery with Roshi back to back. Yeah, I mean, I think even you would be able to use like the Sage Mode passive maybe to get enough chakra so you could use all your mysteries before you Dance of Impetus. So that team could work out as well. At least this team should work with Fire Main as well as Wind Main, whichever you want to do. You kind of need to get yourself a 10-hit combo chase, unless maybe it works out with any other main. But this is the way I tried it. This is the way it worked out for me. It was just funny to use. It really was. I didn't expect the team to go this full on Sage. The biggest downside for me was these super long fights, but the team did a lot better than I thought it would. And after trying out that Han team in Sage World, I can say I can actually mess around with teams and regain some of my confidence, because that was probably top 3 worst Sage I've ever done. And I'm telling you, it didn't make it to the YouTube video. I did record that Sage, but the video did not get uploaded. 10 combo chases, Roshi's 30 combo chase. The team has really strong AoE damage because of the Fireman's standard attack. With the clone, it'll go off twice a turn. Then you have Roshi's AoE mystery. Then you have his chase. You also have Yagura's chase. Such strong AoE damage. Now, for those pesky moments where you're fighting against Hedons, now, you could have stolen Danzo to get yourself a Chaos Barrier, but since he's running Root, it's really not going to make a difference, since only Danzo can get Chaos. So I went to steal Hedon, and Hedon's masochistic enough that he will stab himself and then stab Hedon. And it just goes back and forth. But the cool thing is, if you can get the tag to mirror off, your own clone will end up doing an extra attack, which is pretty neat. Second wise, I guess, let's see, what are some of the drawbacks with this team? I guess Roshi is just your main source of damage. He pretty much needs to mystery to get those chases off. So if your position 1 initiative is a lot less, you might have difficulties with this team. Fortunately, the opponents I was fighting were pretty balanced, close to the same power as me. It was only one person I fought who was stronger than me. So, just stealing back Hedon. This actually gives you the chance to use all the ninjas you couldn't get. I wish I could have fought like some Susanoo Itachi teams. I don't even know, somebody else. Just to use Yagura on those, or even steal Madara's or Chroma Naruto's, but those teams would have probably destroyed me. Just because people who have them are probably a lot stronger than me. So at least it made Sage Sage worked this time, and you can't go wrong with that. You know, it's pretty rare for me to actually mess around with a team in my Sage and do surprisingly well. So I have to be very cautious and very selective with that. But besides, yeah, I guess the biggest complaint about the team was just how many rounds it took to win. It really took a lot. It took way too many turns to win. Usually being round 5 to round 7 fights. But a win is a win. We'll take it. And then here is where I think I fight. Yep. So here, fighting against a Minato. Now, the deciding factor of why I lost was pretty much that you don't really have anyone else to follow up when it comes to Roshi. If I was able to get rid of Minato's dodge second round, and also use Roshi's mystery to chaos him, it would have won me the fight. But the problem is, I wouldn't have been able to chaos him. He would have dodged the mystery, and my Kurenai would have ended up getting destroyed. It's at this point where I kind of wish I saved the Fire Means illusion, because it would have really helped me out. Losing Kurenai right here screwed everything up, because when I wanted to Roshi to win lane to stop the Dance of Impetus, yeah, she was just done. She wasn't able to do anything, and that Minato ended up chasing anyway. So I think it would have just screwed things up regardless. So in that situation, it's not always good to use a Fire Main on round 1. But I still believe that this team could do well against Shisui's and Minato's. It will depend on a lot of things, but you know, I fought a couple of Shisui's. It worked out. And after this, I was fighting a standard Shisui team, where, you know, Sage will run out of time, but I felt like I could have won that battle. So this was the only loss I suffered that night. A lot better than the Han one, I can tell you that for sure. Like when I did the Han team, I probably did 7 fights, and I lost 6 of them. So I probably never want to use Han in Sage World ever again. Not in regular teams. I'll stick to using Han in Arena, but not in regular teams. Still gives me PTSD and Vietnam flashbacks thinking about it. I still wanted to bring out an Arena video about that Han team, just because it worked out in Arena, but who knows if I can recover from that. And then here at the end, fighting Shisui Anbu Itachi, also the double Miller setup, so it's really, really interesting that way. I pretty much was going to steal Shisui to get rid of his barrier, and he pretty much focused down Anbu Itachi. I mean, that would have been the target of my mystery, just because Shisui's going to dodge. You have the mirrors. The main and Kurenai, as much of a role as they play in that team, it really focuses around Shisui. But that was the end of Sage. That was the team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Try it out. Let me know how it works. Hopefully it brings you guys success and it lets you have some kind of enjoyment and fun. But I'll catch you guys next time.